Hey everybody, Quinn here. Welcome back to another flip through book series. Today's book we'll be flipping through and reading will be One Small Square, All About the African Savanna by Donald M. Silver, illustrated by Patricia J. Wine and Deanne N. Now I'm mostly going to be reading some of the book, but I'll mostly be talking about the animals that inhabit the African Savanna and the creatures that live there. I'll be reading some of it, but not all of it though. Here's the cover. We have a gazelle and a zebra over here. Here's a cute little lion cub. With the tortoise. Lions roar, leopards growl, cheetahs yelp, and jackals howl. Wildebeests grunt, zebras snort, vultures scream, and hyenas whoop. Horns clack, wings flap, hooves thunder, and bones crack. These are the sounds of East Africa. These are the sounds of the hunters and the hunted. The liver grass grows as far as the eye can see. They're the sounds of the African savanna. The African savanna is home to the biggest, the tallest, and the fastest land animals on Earth. It's where killer dogs work together as a team, and tiny termites build nests as high as the ceiling in your room, and as hard as cement. 1 minute, all is calm. The next, there's panic as thousands of grass eaters run for their lives. The savanna goes from being wet, lush, and green to bare, brown, and dry as a desert. This part of nature is wild and beautiful, full of danger and daring. Page. Here we have, as a grassland, the African savanna is mostly flat and open, with only a few trees and shrubs scattered about. More large animals live in the savanna than anywhere else in the world. Beetles, lizards, grasshoppers, and hedgehogs can disappear into the tall grass. A zebra here, butterfly. And here we have a little dung beetle over here, rolling some dung. A ball of dung from our animals, but mostly elephants. There are also monera, protists, fungi, animals, and the plants. An inexpensive magnifying glass gives you a close-up look of grass growing where you live. That tells you a lot about the grass in Africa. And here we are. One small square of the African savanna. Imagine zebras, lions, elephants, and giraffes trying to live in your backyard or in a city park. They couldn't. Large animals need a lot of land in order to find plenty of food and water, to hunt, or to flee hungry predators. The African savanna is a vast space stretching hundreds of miles. It's the right size for the kinds of numbers of creatures that make their living on it. Just one small square savanna is shown here. As you can see, we have here a giraffe, eland, cheetah, waterbuck, zebra, secretary bird, lion, gazelle, vulture, leopard, all these animals living together. Now this here African hedgehog may walk through the small square at night, sniffing for food. It'll eat almost anything it can swallow: insects, snails, frogs, snakes, and even eggs. Scarab beetles, also known as dung beetles, are just so many insects creeping, crawling, and flying around in the square. Beetles change a lot from egg to adult. After sundown, this yellow-winged bat can swoop down to catch a grasshopper hiding in the grass. The bat sleeps hanging from a tree branch. And this large male Cory bustard struts around the square as if he owns it. He doesn't scare the Carmen by a bee-eater hitching a ride on its back. The bee-eater catches insects stirred up by the bustard. Here we are atop of a tree, an acacia tree to be precise. Dark clouds gather above the savanna. Soon sheets of water fall from the sky. The long dry season is officially over. The rainy season has begun. Almost overnight, grass sprouts and the small square comes alive again. During the dry months, the umbrella-shaped acacia tree loses its leaves. Then shortly after, before the first rain, new leaves burst out of buds on branches high above the ground. Now the leaves grow and grow, and so do the spiky thorns that keep some of the animals from eating it. The sharp thorns won't scare away the tallest animal on Earth. The famous giraffe over here. A giraffe is a browser. That means it feeds mostly on trees and shrubs. Acacia trees are a favorite for the giraffes. They just lift their heads into acacia, grasping a branch with its tough lips, and sticks out its tongue to work. A giraffe's 18-inch long tongue can reach as far as with your arm. It can wrap around a branch and pluck off leaves while avoiding thorns. A giraffe may spend only a few minutes feeding at this tree before it moves to another acacia outside the square. For weavers and hornbills, an acacia is a place to build nests. For bee eaters, it's a spot to sit and wait for a tasty insect to fly by. To some ants, the tree is home. A leopard would sleep the day away in acacia, and birds and lizards hunt for insects on branches, while snakes and gannets hunt for birds and lizards. A really hungry elephant might just knock over the tall tree to get to the leaves even the giraffes can't reach. We have a red-billed hornbill, the ants. Any proof that no nest is totally safe? Watch a 6-foot-long boom-slang snake make a meal of this unfortunate weaver bird over here. As you can see, this is the boom-slang hunting these unfortunate weaver birds. A long legs and neck of a giraffe die more than 17 feet above the square. From that height, it can spot a lion sticking up. Rather than take chances, a giraffe would rather run to safety. And weaver birds' nests, woven from grasses, hang from tree branches. Each nest opens at the bottom, so it's harder for predators to reach. Here we have the tunnel makers, the termites. Just after the first rains, an eagle lands in the small square. It stands beside the tall termite mound and waits. The acacia tree above swallows, small hawks, barbets, and other birds also land and wait. The eagle pokes at the ground and seizes a termite in its beak. In an instant, there are more insects than it can handle. Thousands and thousands. When the termites take wing, the birds in the tree swoop down of all they can. Most of the termites are eaten, but a few males and females escape. They pair off and start their own nests, not so far away from the small square. Later in the day, this aardvark makes its way toward the mound. It too wants food. With a slash of its claws, it opens a gaping hole in the mound. In goes its pig-like snout, and out comes its long sticky tongue to lap up a meal full of insects. Soldier termites squirt a sticky liquid at the intruder, but that doesn't stop it. When it finally leaves, blind wingless workers begin repairing the holes. When an elephant needs to scratch, it may visit the square to rub the itch away on the termite mound. Each mound is a fortress for millions and millions of termites. It contains a chamber for the king and queen, spaces for funguses to grow, and air shafts, all connected to tunnels. Termite workers build the mound out of soil cemented with their saliva and droppings. In termite mounds, in which termites that no longer live in the mound are home to mongooses, snakes, foxes, and warhogs to move in for a night or more, and for the steer to look out for some more prey. Funguses grow on termite droppings in the mound. The fungi break down and digest stuck plant parts of the termites in need again. And the queen termite here on the right is by far the biggest termite in the mound. She can lay about 5,000 to 30,000 eggs a day. Blind workers care for her and feed the king and queen. They also build, clean, and repair the mound. And this aardwolf, the smallest member of the hyena family, can hear termites at work outside their mound and quickly lap up all it finds. Look out below. 100 miles from the small square, zebras and wildebeest have seen lightning in the distance. Like a flashing neon sign that reads, "Come and get it," each lightning bolt signals the animals to start at once for the part of the savannah, meaning the small square, where it's raining. There they'll find fresh grasses, the main dish on the menu, and they'll feast for about months. Within a week of the first drops, the small square and the land around it will turn grass green. By the time the animals arrive at the square, the blades of grass will be growing about an inch a day. The grasses aren't anything stirring. Beetles, frogs, grasshoppers, and mantises that have spent the dry season sleeping the earth awaken and dig to the surface. Colorful caterpillars and grasshoppers hatch out eggs and stuff themselves with leaves. Butterflies flit amongst flowers, millipedes crawl around stems, ants raid the termite mounds. Here are the termites down over there on the bottom. Life in the grasses is full of danger. Lurking among the plants are hungry insect eaters. An elephant shrew, this mantis over here, and this chameleon. A termite frog, perhaps an African mantis. From above, the beak of a green wood hoopoe, as you can see here, may grab an unsuspecting butterfly or beetle, or the hoof of a giraffe or the foot of an elephant may suddenly squash a patch of grass, send hidden animals fleeing right into the hungry mouths and jaws of predators. And here we are open for business. Wildebeest leap into the air, zebras gallop with delight. Everywhere they look, there are grasses to eat. There better be. Hundreds of thousands of animals are returning in vast herds from their dry season feeding grounds. They're grazers, which means they're animals that eat mostly grass. As the grazers arrive, they break up into smaller herds and spread all over the land. Animals wander in and out of the small square for a nibble or two here and there. Here and there, savanna grasses. Like all over plants, grasses capture energy from the sun and use it to make sugar. They also make other nutrients such as starches, fats, vitamins, and proteins. This is what's known as photosynthesis, by the way. When grazers eat grasses, they take in the nutrients they use for energy and for growing and staying healthy. If you watch the grazers, it seems that they're eating whole plants. They're not. They're actually feeding on different parts of the grass. Zebras bite off the tough tops. Then wildebeest, like this one on top here, right next to the ostrich, chew on tender middle leaves and stems. Gazelles nip at the lowest leaves. Instead of harming the grasses, they help them. Cut grasses keep growing back with new stems and more leaves, and they also send up new plants and underground stems. Day after day, the small square helps feed the herds. Soon it looks like a badly mowed lawn. The grazer sense it's time to move on, but in a few weeks, when the grasses regrow, the back of the square opens for business. Here we have a frog here. And Thompsons and Grant gazelles both visit the square, but Tommies, as Thompsons are often sometimes called, like this one, come only in the rainy seasons. And there we have a warhog, which gets down on its knees in order to eat short grasses. Sometimes this wild pig digs up a tasty snack of roots. And here we have the skulls of a zebra and wildebeest. Grazers have front teeth for biting and back teeth for grinding, but only zebras have upper and lower front teeth that can nip the tough tops of grass plants. Let me turn to the next page. Here's the ambush. It's almost morning. A zebra leaves her herd and walks slowly towards the smaller square in search of the safest place she can find to give birth to her foal. When she reaches the square, she sniffs the air for predators. She can't go on. It's time. The birth is quick. Within 15 minutes, the brown and white newborn rises on its wobbly feet. It's ready to follow its mother, hungry for her milk. The sun rises, and soon the heat of day replaces the cool of night. All around the square, grazers are feeding. Oxpeckers and other tick birds land on the grazers for breakfast on ticks and blood-sucking flies that annoy the large animals. To escape the heat, this cheetah over here rests in the shady acacia tree. Nearby, her cubs chase each other as if playing tag. Their game helps them practice stalking and pouncing, as what these future hunters need to learn. As long as the cheetah relaxes on the termite mound, the grazers know they have no reason to fear it. By late afternoon, many of the grazers are very thirsty and make their way to the watering hole in the square. Now one is aware the female lions have been setting a trap. Most baby zebras and wildebeest are born during the rainy season. Then the mothers have enough food and water to keep making milk so they can nurse the young. This zebra is a few weeks old, and its brown stripes will turn black as it grows up. The world's largest bird stands to 8 feet tall. It can run at a speed of 45 miles an hour, but can't fly. What bird is it? An ostrich, of course. And the lioness's coat color blends in so with the grasses that she seems to disappear. And she's right over here. Here's the eagle right next to a bunch of guinea fowl up here on the upper left of the book. Lions are the most powerful predators in the African savanna. They're the only cats that live and hunt together in groups called prides. When lions look at herds, they see plenty of prey. They also see hundreds of eyes, ears, and noses on the alert for the slightest hint of a hungry predator. They see dangerous weapons in the hooves and horns that can kill them. They see grazers that can outrun them. Instead of attacking the herd, female lions split up. Several of them circle the grazers, and very slowly they creep along, bellies to the ground, inching closer and closer to the watering hole. Their soft paws hardly make a sound. Meanwhile, the other females choose a spot in the grasses of the small square, where the wind will blow their smell away from the grazers. There they crouch as one by one zebras and wildebeest come to drink. Suddenly, a gazelle picks up the scent of the circling lions, lifts its head, and stares. An ostrich turns, peers it at the same spot, and takes off running. Tickbirds squawk, sounding the alarm. Grazers flee in all directions as panic spreads, and the circling lions rush the drinking animals, driving them toward the lions hiding in ambush. The trap is sprung. The ambushers leap onto the back of one zebra, sink in their claws, and bring down the prey. The zebra struggles as the lion bites into its throat until it's dead. When the dust settles, the hungry females gather to fill their stomachs. And so do the male lions, even though they rested while the females did all the work. A waterhole is a favorite hunting spot for lions, trying to catch grazers off guard. Like other predators, lions will target an old, weak, sick herd or sole member of a herd. They'll also go after an animal that strays from the rest. And the cheetah, the fastest land animal, can run at 70 miles an hour, catch up to a gazelle fleeing at 45 miles an hour, but the cheetah must kill its prey on the first try. Otherwise, the gazelle escapes because it can run farther without tiring out easily. The young gazelle below won't be so lucky. This martial eagle is about to seize and fly off with the gazelle to feed its hungry chicks. Sadly, the lions, though, can't feast on the zebra in one piece. Before they even swallow the first taste of meat, vultures are circling high above the square. Vultures are scavengers, which means they eat dead animals they didn't kill. So are jackals, which spot the vultures from a distance. When the vultures dive onto the land, the jackals know there must be food and head at once for the square. The lions have no trouble filling their stomachs in spite of the annoying scavengers that keep arriving. The jackals are so hungry they start to howl. One even dares to steal a scrap of meat from a lioness. Too full to care, she walks off with most of the others to sleep. The howling has woken a hyena. Once most of the lions leave, the spotted hyena will make its move. And vultures can spot a dead animal from thousands of feet up. Their quick arrival on the scene tips off other scavengers, and the vultures will wait for their turn. Lions hunt together in groups called prides. The land a pride hunts on is its territory. By marking the territory with a scent that other lions can smell, the pride warns, keep out, or else. Here we have this marabou stork and raven, all wanting the food that the lion does hunt while they still can. Stealing food from a lion can be dangerous, but it sometimes works. And grazers don't need to watch where they step. Scarab beetles are busy eating and burrowing droppings as fast as they hit the ground. The beetles help recycle chemicals in the waste. Dung beetles also lay their eggs in dung, if you didn't know. Insects like these flesh flies, carrion beetles, and worm-boring mobs don't mind leftovers. They'll feed on anything scavengers have missed. On the prowl. Night falls, bringing darkness, but not safety to the small square. Many grazers are still feeding. Others not off to sleep for just a few minutes at a time. From out of the blackness, a pack of hunting dogs appear. Slowly at first, the wild dogs walk towards some wildebeest. When they pick up their pace, the wildebeest break into a gallop. The dogs split up in teams that chase one wildebeest from behind. On the sides, in seconds, they leap at it. It's theirs now. Hyenas hear the dogs and smell the prey. They patrol the area to make sure no other hyenas invade their territory. Hyenas are the most efficient hunters in Africa. They could catch their own dinner, but they can't resist attacking the hunting dogs and stealing the meal. So many hyenas want food, however, that they turn on each other and fight for hours. And fight for shares. Hours later, hunger strikes the leopard atop the acacia tree at night. After it climbs down and silently stalks the gazelle. After a quick dash, the cat pounces on the small animal. Then it drags the gazelle back up to a tree, out of the reach of the hyenas, jackals, and other scavengers. Here we have a genet over here. And here we have a zorilla, a type of skunk-like animal chasing down a spring hare. Here are the wild dogs and the hyenas. We have the leopard again. On the way. The months pass by, grazers and predators visit and revisit the small square for food and water. Curious and playful young animals grow quickly under the watchful eyes of adults, trying to prevent them from being eaten. There are fewer and fewer rainstorms. The hot sun beats down daily, baking the earth. The grasses stop growing and the stems and leaves soon toughen. All the animals sense that the dry season is about to begin. Wildebeest, zebras, and Thompson's gazelles gather, each eating the watering holes busier and busier. And early one morning, amid snorts and bells, the grazers start for the northwest. They're off to river valleys, tall grasses, and woodlands more than 100 miles away. What a sight as they join tens of thousands of grazers on the move. Hyenas and wild dogs follow the herds, ever ready to prey upon them. And the lions, cheetahs, and leopards of the small square have little trouble finding a meal with so many grazers in the territory. But they remain behind after the herds vanish, so do most of the other animals here, except for the small birds that fly up to spend the dry season far enough as Europe. We have the mongoose, there's Zazu over here, elephant shrew. And in the rainy season, sphinx moths lay eggs that hatch into caterpillars, but the dry season, the caterpillars dig into the soil and remain pupas until it rains. Dry season cavia butterflies are blue, those of the rainy season are orange. When it feels like tough times are ahead, danger ahead. Day and night, the grazers let the square press on. They have no maps or road signs to show them the way, yet they follow the same routes year after year. The heat stifling, swirling dust, drying winds, biting flies, and hard ground make the journey difficult. Predators make it deadly, then take their toll on the young, the sick, and the old, those unable to keep up. By the days without water, some of the grazers reach river crossing. For the moment, nothing matters but quenching their thirst. There's, however, a price to pay for stopping. Without warning, the jaws of a giant crocodile. Without warning, the jaws of a giant crocodile open out of the water and grab wildebeest. The wary animals struggle, but it's pulled into deep water where it can't escape. Here we have some hyrax over here. That's some wildebeest. It doesn't take a zebra born in a small square long to notice it's now in a very different place. Instead of a water hole, there's a river full of water to drink. Instead of an occasional acacia tree, there are woods and many bushes nearby. The grasses are much taller than those in the square, and they're animals the young zebra's never seen before. Impalas, an African buffalo, honey guides, and honey badgers. Impalas that can leap 10 feet in the air to jump to escape predators. Plump hippos spending the day with their young in cool river waters. Baboons and greenwood hippos, and even the endangered black rhinoceros. Zebra taking a drink. Meanwhile, back at the square, a lion sits and watches a termite mound where Warhog and her family have moved into a hole left by an aardvark. The lion finds warhogs tasty all year round, but especially during the dry season. With more grazers gone, lions and other predators have to change their diets. A Grant gazelle makes a meal, but it's not as filling as a zebra or wildebeest, unfortunately. Attacking a young giraffe is risky if the mother's near. Should all else fail, predators turn to scavengers, look for vultures to eat them the food. Plants must also change their way to life to stay alive without rain. When there is lots of water, the plants soak up more than they needed, tiny openings in their leaves to give off what they didn't use. Now, water is far too precious to let any escape, so the acacia sheds its leaves. Grass blades stiffen, turn brown, curl, and die. Acacia and the underground parts of the grass is a store of food. There's still some water to drink, but the supply is slowly shrinking. And here we have the dry season of the African savanna in the small square. Now, fire is actually very important in grasslands like these. And as the fires burn down the old grasses, it gives way for new plants to grow. And there's a lot of animals that these guys, like storks and secretary birds, to eat. When there's dryness during fire, grass seeds twist down and plant themselves in the ground. They remain there unharmed until new rains signal them to spring. And here we have the rains, and here's the end of this book. After the long, hot, dry season, life-giving rain falls in the whole square, and the savanna around it rebirths